Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall. I'm your host, Armando Leduc. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Managing Partners Podcast, where law firm leaders learn to think bigger. I'm Kevin Daisy. Let's jump in.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you are consuming this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another one here at the NTL Summit, the Managing Partners Podcast and Spaghetti on the Wall, the duo podcast that everybody's been asking for. And we've got Valerie Willis here from Texas. She just started her firm about 2 months ago.
Yes.
And I was just telling her, I was like, we are what in the industry I would call unemployable as entrepreneurs, right? So when you started your firm, you obviously come from an entrepreneurial background, right?
I did.
So it was easy for you to start the firm. You, like this was a no-brainer for you. You were like, yeah, of course I'm going to start my firm. I'm not going to go, I passed the bar and I'm going to open up my own thing.
It was a no-brainer, but actually, initially my path was going to be JAG, Army.
Okay.
I got accepted, and due to unforeseen circumstances, I did not go. I decided to stay back and start my own firm, and this is where I'm at now.
And so tell me about your firm and what you guys do, all of the services.
So, well, first of all, I wanted to discuss my background.
Sure.
Previously, I was a nurse, and I'm still a nurse, and we still have our business. We transport pediatric kids to their appointments. We have an ambulance service.
Wow.
Yes, and we also had a daycare. We just recently let that go. We sold it about 5 years ago.
Right? Like you're a nurse, now you're an attorney.
I love kids. I love working as a nurse. I love working with the community, and I wanted to be an attorney so I could elevate my platform and serve the community as an attorney and a nurse and wherever else is needed. I'm also an EMT as well.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yes.
So are you a personal injury attorney?
That's the goal. That's why we came to this conference, is to learn more about personal injury. Actually, I'm a bankruptcy attorney.
Okay.
I'm doing bankruptcy as we speak, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, and 11.
Okay.
My husband was sending out, letting everybody know, sending out just notices that I passed the bar, and his aunt has a bankruptcy firm, and she called us to meet her, and we went the next day, and she asked me to take over. So I just inherited a bankruptcy firm overnight.
Wow.
So I started doing bankruptcy 2 days after I passed the bar. Wow. And I went to a bankruptcy conference. I got sworn in Southern District of Texas. I'm trying to get into the Northern District of Texas so I can practice in Dallas. And then we decided, you know what, we want to add personal injury because it does relate to me being a nurse and an EMT. So let's go to the conference and see what we can learn.
So how does that work? I guess an ethical question here, right? Because
Sure.
You're a nurse, but then like you'd be an attorney as well. How does that conflict at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Because when I'm in my capacity as an attorney, that's all I'm going to be doing.
Oh, okay. So you would stop nursing.
Yeah, like I'm not going to be working as a nurse at that time.
Gotcha.
But I still have the company, the EMS company, and we
Okay.
I have people. I look and I still talk to the patients.
Okay. And because you come from a nursing background, it's a lot easier for you as an attorney to realize, okay, these are the things that can affect the case, right? Because the treatment phase is such a long phase,
Yes.
and it really determines the value of the case.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people that don't understand personal injury and sort of the space, they don't really understand that, you got to keep going to your treatment in order for the attorney to have enough information to go, oh yeah, this is actually what the case is worth.
Yes, and actually doing 20 years in ambulance transport services, like transportation, I understand. I, can relate to these people trying to get to their appointments. They may be disabled. They can't get to their appointments. So guess what? I have an EMS service that could take them or
Sure.
make arrangements because I kind of know, or this person can't walk. They need to be laying on a stretcher because they had a spinal injury.
Wow.
So I can kind of understand the ways and methods of transportation for that client, and I can assist, a little better than a regular attorney. And I also know about medical records and
yeah. So how big is that challenge for a lot of these personal injury victims?
a lot of them have trouble getting to their appointments because they're in a lot of pain. Some may have spinal injuries, they can't walk. And then, I'll know the path and I don't know how to get them there, and I know who to call.
How many attorneys struggle with that piece of the puzzle?
I don't know, but I was listening to a panel the other day, and I'm not sure if they understand, like, there's other methods of transportation. If a person, like, if you have a patient that, like let's say, I think they were talking about a client that needed to get into the courtroom to show the jury that they couldn't walk or they were completely disabled. They could come in on a stretcher. You could put them on a stretcher, like two EMTs can bring them in and they can care.
Wow.
You could do that.
Sure.
Like, they probably wouldn't think of that because they're not in that industry, but I would.
That's incredible.
Can you imagine if you wheel somebody in on a stretcher?
Of course.
Into a courtroom because they couldn't really get in there. They're on they can't walk into they can't walk into the courtroom.
Do you guys help other personal injury attorneys?
Not yet.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 2 months, 2.5 months.
That business, the ENT business, is also 2 months old?
No, that's been 20 years.
Okay.
And I strictly did ambulance transportation, EMS for 20 years.
Okay. So do you guys help other personal injury attorneys with that? Not yet. Not yet,
but we plan to.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Because I would think is if I can't get my clients to the hospital, right, and I know that they've been severely injured, what are the alternatives? Like family, maybe family.
No, sometimes it's not safe.
An Uber,
Not safe.
Not safe, right? So what do? Do they like not take the case, or do they try to figure out, I mean, I don't even know if that would be on my radar at all.
Yeah, a lot of people may not know that there's other alternatives and methods to get your client into a courtroom or to their appointments. And,
So now you know.
Yes.
So now you know, right?
Yes.
Like if you're out there in Texas, what part of Texas?
Houston, Texas.
In Houston, Texas. If you're a personal injury attorney, actually, I'll introduce you to some I know in the Houston area. Because I think that's super important for people to be able to go and say, hey, I got you. Let me ask you this: because that could be a hefty fee, right? Getting transported. Are there solutions? There got to be some solutions, right? Where there's, money that can be funded towards, those sorts of things. Because a lot of times I think, attorneys would say, yeah, I can go ahead and cover the cost of all of this stuff because I know on the back end, that I can put it into the case. But what if they're not, cash liquid like that? Are there solutions?
I'm sure companies will work with them. EMS transportation, it's not that expensive if you know the companies, or you can work something out with them.
Gotcha.
But a lot of them, like the private services, will, as opposed to a city service, like the Houston Fire Department or something.
I think that's great. How many ambulances do you guys have?
We have 6.
You got 6?
Yes.
Oh, so it's like.
Yeah.
And it's 20 years in business.
Yeah, 20 years in business. And right now we do pediatrics mainly.
Okay.
Yeah, we take the children to their appointments because they have vents and trachs and the nurses that come with them and a lot of equipment, oxygen.
Yeah.
So they can't be in a car, really. It's not safe.
Sure.
So we take them to their appointments and we take them back home.
That's amazing.
But we do with elderly as well, though.
Yeah, would make sense. And then, now with this new service with personal injury, like that's a whole income stream that I would, if I was you, would definitely jump into. How do people find you?
We have a website. I'm fresh. I'm new.
Okay.
2 months. So we're working on marketing, but we're gonna start our YouTube channels and just the normal methods of marketing. But I can give you my number.
Yes, please.
Okay, our office number. If you need transportation, you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to Valerie Willis lawfirm.com. My phone number is 832-396-2427. Again, 832-396-2427.
Yeah, no, I love the concept, love what you're doing. It's necessary. And I don't hear a lot of, and I've been in this industry for a minute, I don't hear a lot of people doing that. So
Yeah, it's we're kind of unique. It just kind of popped into my mind as we came to this convention. I wasn't really thinking about it until I was listening to the attorney on the panel.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? We can blend the EMS service with the PI because they need transportation.
100%.
And some of them can't walk into a courtroom because they're disabled.
Yeah.
So
I think you have a full-fledged business on your hand with another income stream that could just blow up. So
yeah, so we have our website, ValerieWillisLawFirm.com,
nice.
and that phone number, 832-396-2427.
I love it. Valerie, thanks for being on the show. We're here at NTL, Spaghetti on the Wall, Managing Partners Podcast. We'll see y'all next time. Keep listening, keep watching. Always brought to you by Leduc Entertainment for all of your marketing needs. We got you, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.